It's been a while, but I'm back. This is another episode of Fascination. Don't you smack you in the face there?
Almost.
See? The ever-ready professionals, ready to slap a child in the face live on YouTube for your own personal entertainment and gratitude. Yeah. So I've been off. I've been doing a few bits and pieces. Been very, very busy with work. A few bits and pieces been going on behind the scenes with regards to sort of like family and other bits. So, and also I've been working okay. I'd say pretty okay on the new project that I've got going at the moment. In fact, we're a couple of minutes late running now because I've just finished watching the 8 hours of Bahrain. And I love you all very, 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 very much, but that cost me £6 to watch. And there was no way that I was cutting that. £6 is £6 wherever you come from. Okay. And I won't cut that short, but we're here now. So over in the chat room, looking as fierce as ever, producer Sarah.
Hello.
And she's come equipped with her own buns and her own notebook. And next to me, I have the ever faithful first child of Fringe, Mika.
Hi, how are you?
Now, you've probably heard by my voice and Mika's voice that we're actually not very, very well.
It started with me on Friday. So basically, last night I wasn't well at all. Even though I was very warm, I was shaking for some reason. And when it's cold, it just feels very warm for me.
So you kind of like you're a back to front kind of guy. So yeah, what we try and do is just try and keep the temperature tepid, and then that way he's good. He's good to go. But yeah, he's running a little bit of a temperature and everything, but he said that he wanted to be part of this. So that was really, really cool. But we have come armed with tissues
and
vapor sticks, lozenges, and lots of water.
And
he's got his blanket as well. So if at any point either of us disappear, it's because we don't want to do something highly gross on YouTube.
No.
There's more than enough gross stuff on YouTube, and we don't want to add to that any more than we need to, right?
This is a child-friendly show.
This one is. A few of the others we've done aren't. So, have you had a good week? Bad week?
I mean, it's been an okay week. You know, like Friday and today wasn't a good one. I'm hoping tomorrow will be a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, you've only got 3 days left of school, and then you're on Christmas holidays. Oh yeah.
And you know what? Why I'm really excited.
Moving the camera's going. That's like the scene. Oh, no, it's not. No spoilers. Okay.
Do you want to know something I'm really excited about? At least I won't hear children screaming anymore. Oh, deluxe.
You see, even when there's no children about, I still hear them screaming.
I don't like sand. It's cold and horrible. I hate it.
But it's okay because, as you all know, if any of you follow me on social media, you know that I've got a wingman. You know that I have my own child at work. Not only is he my child at work, but he's also joining us tonight for tonight's show. Some of you probably know him as Chewy, but he is my man, Callum. Callum?
Hello there. Hello, everyone.
Chewy!
Hold on.
So that's it, friend of the show, friend of the family, friend of workmates, everyone's ever faithful friend that I'd never be without is my man, Callum. So he's joining us this evening because he's got a bit of a
Star Wars history.
Bit of a knowledge, and he's also ill.
Yes.
So that's it.
I'm troubled, but I'm just surrounded by men that are ill.
See, that's why, like, the women on Fascination Street are warrior women. They don't go down with, like, little bugs and colds and things like that. They're warrior women.
I'm not no man. I'm a child. I beg your pardon.
So, let's jump straight into it. Callum.
Hello there.
So, it wasn't that long ago that we were off going to see Solo together. We've got plans to go and watch the new one which is we're going New Year's Eve, aren't
Yes.
we? As a group.
Yes.
But
Yes,
I think we're going off separately to see it in between, aren't we?
Yeah, because I'm working when you get to see it.
That's right. You're on the ship.
Yeah.
It's your Christmas, isn't it?
Yes.
You're on the ship for the whole Christmas.
Oh yes.
Anywho, let's move on from that.
Yeah.
So, where are we going to start? Where do you boys want to start with the whole? I mean, are you excited about this next one?
I am excited, but I'm a little bit concerned of how they're going to bring that certain person into it. Obviously, Palpatine.
Yeah. I mean, this is something obviously towards the end we will touch on again, but it is relevant that we touch on it. I think. Straight out the bat. Yeah, it's. I mean, we know from, I don't know, was it already a novelization that he'd already been cloned? There were clones of him that existed for a long time, and
I
mean, the thing is like so much about the other canon bits and pieces. Because I mean, like for me, I mean, I'm basically original trilogy.
Yeah.
I'm not really that, but you know a lot more of the canon, the novelization, and other bits.
From what I remember, is in Star Wars Legends, he clones himself for a younger version of himself, but obviously his younger version is more powerful than his older self, if that makes sense. And then he'd done another method, I can't remember what it was called, but he went like through the veil of death and he grabbed his young self again to bring into his timeline. So like sort of like time travel, really.
Yeah, was that using? Is it the Beyond or the Netherworld or something like that, wasn't it?
I think so. They touch it on Rebels in Star Wars Rebels.
So I believe it also has a part in the new one as well.
If they do, then that would explain how he comes back. Yes.
Yeah, because they kind of like made a point. I mean, I probably know about as much about the leaks and bits and pieces as what you do, but it has been said that apparently there are scenes which are, so I can't remember if it's the Beyond or the Netherworld, but the world between the two. So
call it say Limbo. I don't know what it's actually called, but yeah, Limbo.
Limbo. That's it. You know, it's going to be out there now. #Limbo.
But yes.
So yeah, I mean, how do you feel about what may happen or what may not happen? How do you feel about the new one?
I mean, some of the footage is quite good, but at the same time, some of it is a little bit bad.
Are you talking about the trailers and TV spots?
Yeah.
Right.
Where how Kylo Ren looks more menacing without his helmet, but for some reason you bring it back.
Yeah.
You know, like why? You know, you destroyed your helmet for a reason, but then they just go, "Here you go, here's your helmet again."
But I mean, I think that was pretty easy one to kind of work out though, because obviously he'd been told that he wasn't ever going to live up to being Vader, but there he is. He's finding himself as sort of like supreme leader, isn't he? So, but what I don't get is they can afford to have all this wonderful technology. They can afford to have like a new Starkiller base. They can afford to have all these wonderful bits and pieces, but yet he can't afford someone decent enough to repair his helmet in the right color. He's got red bits in it. That's just bad work. That's just bad workmanship, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, funny you say that. From what I've read up on, the person who made Kylo's helmet is the one who repairs it, so he'll be making an appearance in this film. So there might be a reason why there's red lines going down his helmet / mask.
You see, I've got my own personal opinion on that. Yeah. I think that it's something to do with the Kyber crystal from Vader's saber. Whether or not they've managed to break it down, or they've managed to do something with it, which is why it's there. Because it's pretty obvious that he's rebuilt his mask because he now knows that he's kind of that kind of league as what Vader was. And it makes sense if he's going to repair it and put it back together with something, he'd use something else, probably of Vader's, to complete it.
Yeah, but where would he get the crystal from Vader's lightsaber? Because when in what was it called? Return of the Jedi, the last one.
Yep.
Luke obviously puts him on a fire.
Yep.
But if you look closely, his lightsaber is on his side.
Right. Okay.
And the crystal that would be inside of the lightsaber, if you've seen like some action, so you're fighting with your lightsaber, but then you either cut it in half, and then as you can see, it burns.
Yeah, but he didn't do that though. It went on as a full unit. So I'm assuming that the kyber crystal would have survived the fire. And whoever went and got Vader's helmet, I'm pretty sure would have taken the saber with them as well.
Well, I mean, the saber.
What do you think, Cal?
I can.
Or is that reaching?
No. I could see a good point there. Yeah, I see a good point. Or the other way is Kylo went to Endor, where obviously he got his suit, whatever, but it's all being crispied and that because obviously his helmet is in Force Awakens.
The Kentucky Fried.
Yeah, basically.
Brilliant.
Either he got his hands on his father's lightsaber, well, Darth Vader's lightsaber, and he tried to ignite it, but it wasn't working. But he took the crystal out, that was cracked, because in Kylo Ren's lightsaber, it's a cracked kyber crystal. So maybe that is Vader's lightsaber. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
because that's what gives it that noise.
Well. Yeah. And that's why it's got all that like sparky effect going. Well, not sparky effect, like the flame effect of the lightsaber.
It's all right. I'm good with that. I know that you like your sparkles, glitters, and unicorns.
Oh yes,
and
I
do. When he ignites it,
we've been mates too long.
Instead of it's a and like you said, because it's damaged, and in the Force Awakens and all of that, you could see it. Even though we didn't know it was damaged, you would know it's damaged because every other lightsaber goes.
I don't know. I think the fact that it was kind of new as well, and we kind of thought, this is something new and something cool.
And like his lightsaber, like he's got those awesome
cross guards.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like a proper broadsword of sorts.
Yeah. Proper old medieval style.
Yeah. But going to the film that's coming out, the scene where Rey is all Sithified or whatever, she's all in black with her red lightsaber. Her lightsaber's doing the same sound as Kylo's. And the same effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that. Because when it was like that and it flipped out, you could hear.
I didn't pick up on that.
Yes.
Sorry, Sarah.
Okay, a couple of comments from the chat room. Chuck is in there.
Chuck!
That helmet is based on Japanese clay pots. When they break, they fix them in that way. It's a throwback to the fact that Vader was originally based on the samurai.
Yeah.
So that is Chuck's thing. And also John has asked, is anyone else seeing a Paul reunion? Jimmy is Simon Pegg and Chewie is
Yes. Okay.
So yeah.
That's all right, because Callum can drive and I can't. So he's the one that's obviously.
Mika is Paul, of course.
Huh? Who's Paul?
The alien.
Little alien.
So me, you and Cal.
So is anyone else in the Paul reunion? Jimmy is Graham, Chewie is Clive, Sarah is Ruth, and Mika is Paul, of course.
I just need to poke you in the eye so you can only set up one eye or something, don't I?
Can I do it?
Her eye gets healed, so
yeah. So Mika gets to heal his mum's eye. Amazing.
I don't know. I
Also,
might not want
some
to hear
say
it.
Lucasfilm is flogging a dead horse.
Yeah,
What do you say?
yeah. Callum, I'll let you start on that one. Did you hear that?
I heard Dead Horse. I'm taking about the film with
You-
Lucasfilm.
Okay,
Bring it up
some
on screen.
say Lucasfilms are flogging a dead horse. What do you say?
Oh, maybe, but Lucas has been told that he can tell them what and not what to do in this film. I don't know about the other two films, but he can come in and go like, yeah, I don't like that scene, change it around a little bit. But he doesn't have the full authority, if that makes sense. He can guide them in the right direction, but maybe, I don't know. Like I said, I think this film, fair news, it's going to end all of them. But I think the way they're throwing Palpatine in it, if what we have thought doesn't come to fruition, they've only put it in there for the fans to like try and bring him back from obviously their last Jedi mistake.
All right, let's turn it on its head. What if they've brought him back as a scapegoat? So if this kind of gets like the throwback that the other two have got, they were like, well, George Lucas was on board.
Then yeah,
You know, so the man who started it is finished. Because I'm pretty sure at the end of the day, if Lucas had, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm excited about seeing this film, and I did.
Yeah.
I genuinely enjoyed the other two. As we've spoke about 1,000,001 times, I enjoyed the other two, but in my own way.
Yeah,
There was a lot of plot holes, a lot of twists, a lot of this, that, and the other that didn't need to be there. But I found it aesthetically pleasing.
sorry.
The one thing, like for me, as being a fan, because I mean, we've got 3 different generations of Star Wars fan here. You've got myself, which was the originals, you that were kind of the newer trilogy, Phantom Menace, so on. And we've got Mika, who was brought up with this trilogy. So to us, Star Wars is different all the way along.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I like the old trilogies. The old trilogy's good.
Mhm.
I think, in my honest opinion, like The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, I think they didn't put the effort that, they said they were going to do. Like, with Rey, like in a matter of days, not even days, probably a day or two, she learns how to use the Force.
Yeah.
And where, like Luke, it took him about a month.
It took him what, a film plus, didn't it? With like some pretty intense stuff and other battles and bits and pieces in between.
But how can Rey just pick up a lightsaber and go, oh, I already know how to use this?
Yeah, exactly.
But isn't that something that's in her blood?
No.
Yeah, but when you think about it, look at Luke. Luke should have been probably even more better than anyone else. Same as Anakin. When Anakin was little,
good.
Yeah.
it would have just happened. It's all to do with the midichlorians and bits and pieces like that.
Yeah.
Which,
Okay.
So yeah, I think to a certain degree they are, Mark. I think they're trying to appease a younger audience, but also if you look online at some of the comments that Kathleen Kennedy has made in the past, she's made it abundantly clear that she wants more of a female feminist kind of role within the Star Wars thing. It was too but I don't get that, because all of us that grew up with the originals, I mean, what a role model Princess Leia was.
Yeah.
Princess Leia, it was like the ultimate woman of all time.
Yeah.
And I know John likes that, because I know John wants to hybrid me with Princess Leia in Slave Leia's outfit. And I know Callum's definitely thought about that a few times when we've worked very closely. So
yes.
you're not on your own there, John. So you've got that going on. And again, if some of the leaks and that we've heard are true, then you're not going to see the ending that we all wanted to see. I mean, all of us older guys and that appreciate all of the older Star Wars, how many of us would sell our right kidney or left kidney to be able to see a shot of Han, Luke, Leia, Lando, and Chewie in the cockpit of the Falcon on this last one.
They could have easily done that.
Yeah. But that's it. But what they've done is successfully, I mean, through one reason or another, they've basically killed off every great character that Star Wars has and kind of just put them with these new characters, which isn't really what Star Wars is about.
Yeah, but why, take your time and say, who should we kill in The Force Awakens? Let's have a guess. Oh, Han Solo, why not?
So that's it. Right, so Han went Force Awakens.
Yep.
I don't know where Lando went.
Heartbreaking moment. Lando's in this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Lando's still alive. Right, so Han went. So The Last Jedi, Luke goes. Through that time as well, obviously, we lose Carrie Fisher. But luckily enough, they managed.
Still had the data.
That's right. They had enough footage from the last two films of Carrie Fisher, and her family okayed them to be able to use the footage in this new one, which I think is an amazing thing. But it's still not shaping up to be the end or the scene that we all want to see.
No. The way I see it is they should have done it the other way around, if that makes sense. So they should have done The Last Jedi first, then do A Force Awakens as their second film. But obviously we tweaked it a little bit. So say in Force Awakens, maybe Luke dies or whatever, actually fighting Kylo, not being a Force image or whatever.
Yeah.
Back on Crate is the planet. You done it?
Yeah. Or like, I mean, we had this conversation the other day, didn't we? About how easy. John, did this bit.
What?
About how easy it was for Qui-Gon to be defeated. How easy it was for Obi-Wan Kenobi to be defeated.
So basically, me and Dad were talking a couple of days ago about why do the Masters do sacrifice?
No, why were they easily defeated?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they knew the next generation would have been more powerful, so they wanted to do that. They wanted to sacrifice their own life so the next generation could come. And Qui-Gon, he sacrificed himself because you could see he didn't swipe, block. I would have blocked, in my opinion. But he knew that Obi-Wan was going to be a Jedi Master. And then he would train another Padawan, which would be Anakin Skywalker. So then Obi-Wan sacrificed himself for Luke.
Yes.
So surely in that end, wouldn't it be down to Luke to end up sacrificing himself in front of to carry on?
For Rey. So maybe this one, maybe Rey might sacrifice, but she doesn't die. Maybe she gets an injury that could be quite severe. Well, you saw in The Last Jedi how that Praetorian guard whacked her and it went right down her arm.
Yeah.
And that left a really huge cut. So
I was commenting about earlier, although Luke and Leia were twins, due to time dilation within the theory of general relativity, Leia would be at least 2 years older than Luke.
Yeah, of course. There's plot holes in that, but things like that we do kind of, as like proper true Star Wars fans, we do kind of forgive. I mean, we have been dubbed recently in, I can't remember if it was the Washington Post or the New York Post, when they had an interview with Bob Iger, who's running the Star Wars thing, the guy who hired Kathleen Kennedy. And they've kind of got to like a stance now where they don't care about the Star Wars fans' kind of feelings and what they think and other bits like that, because apparently we take everything too hard. No matter what they do, it's never going to be right for us and things like that, which, again, I beg to differ. I mean, there were some good bits to be taken from the new films, right?
Yeah. I can understand where both of them are coming from. Obviously, you know, George Lucas and all this team have poured their heart and soul into all of these films. Obviously, you're gonna get those few fans, like major fans, even people who know the little specks of dust in films and the history of the whole Star Wars. They're going to be like, oh well, that's not correct. You know, they done this wrong. They should have done this. Blah blah blah. And then obviously you're going to have like the likes of us thinking, you know, that was quite cool. But so it's going to be 50-50. They're not going to win. They're not going to lose. They're going to have to meet in the middle somewhere. They can't be like, well, we give up on our fans, because, you know, half other fans are going to be like, oh, don't be like that. We're behind you all the way. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, right.
But,
No, it's spot on. I mean,
yeah.
like I said, you know, every single one of them we've ended up buying like action figures for, because of obviously collections that I have, collections that Mika has. We've brought every like version of the DVD, every
Yeah.
version of the like Blu-ray, because we are fans. All right, no one wants to see something that beautiful over and done with. But the way I see it, like I was just saying, we've got 3 different generations of Star Wars fans here. Okay, for me, my no matter what has come before or after, you know, the original trilogy, nothing in my eyes will ever beat that. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, you know how I feel about the next trilogy. I weren't a fan. You know how I feel about that as well, right?
What?
The
The
other,
Force Awakens.
no,
or
the
that?
second trilogy that came along, the Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. Although Revenge of the Sith did have some amazing bits.
I think my favourite piece of Revenge of the Sith was where Anakin and Obi-Wan was fighting. And if you looked closely when they were in that place, you could see Obi-Wan putting his lightsaber behind his back as he was swinging it.
The skills.
But at the same time, if then Anakin striked and the lightsaber was behind his back, he would die. But what would Anakin actually become?
That's it.
He might become Master Anakin.
Yeah.
Master Skywalker.
Again, you know, why wasn't he given that opportunity? You know, was Mace Windu part of the prophecy? You know, denying him being that guy. I'm pretty sure you know about this though, Cal, right?
Yeah, right. Here's a little fun fact about Miss Windu. I can't remember the form he fought in. Well, one of the Jedi forms, but he had the ability to tap into the dark side, but not be like full on like Darth Maul, Count Dooku, you know, all the Darths really. That's how he can.
Dark Jedi.
No, well, he could tap into the dark side of the Force when he's fighting.
That's
Hence
what made
why.
him stronger.
Because like the scene, you know, there's 4 of them. They go into Palpatine's office and they say you're under arrest. He kills 3 of them at the start, but with Mace Windu, he's struggling with him because the way it is Darth Sidious is more trained the Force side than he is lightsaber side. Obviously, and Mace Windu is more skilled with his lightsaber than he is with the Force.
Yeah.
So that's how the fight prolonged before Anakin came up. So if Anakin didn't turn up, Mace Windu would either possibly killed him or had a slimmer of chance saying, right, you're under arrest, come with me. But at the same time, Mace Windu 90% would probably have killed him. So I don't know where it would have carried on after that. Maybe Darth Jar Jar, but that's something else to talk about.
Do you know what? I love that theory. I love that theory.
It's one of the best
Jar
theories.
Jar Binks is an agent.
I hate Jar Jar Binks, but once I heard this theory, I loved it because there was clips in Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones where he's doing stuff, and you think to yourself, okay, he might be a Sith Lord because he's from Naboo, the same as Palpatine. So if he appears in, you know, Rise of Skywalker, we're either doomed or but I don't think he will appear though.
I know. But I genuinely think that'd be the bit where like everyone's like, I'm going home and I'm burning everything I own of Star Wars. I'm sorry, every T-shirt, every DVD, every action figure. That's it. It no longer exists in my world, my planet, my universe, and I'm so sorry that I've taken my children to see every single one of them. If this is how it ends.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the question about who's actually saw it first time round, Jiggy is in the room.
Hey, Jiggy!
Also, John and Mark both said they've seen it first time
Yep.
round. Jiggy always said Star Wars is like Marvel and DC. They're targeting new audiences because their original fan base is getting older. They want to keep the money rolling in by working to appeal to a younger audience.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. You're spot on, Jiggy. I mean, I think kind of the way that it's being run at the moment, though, I don't think it's going to be that great. The sooner I think they get Kathleen Kennedy out the mix, I think that's when they'll. I mean, who does not want to see Jon Favreau? Yeah, who does not want to see Jon Favreau take over? I mean, the work that he's done on The Mandalorian has been amazing. Right.
Look at that.
Hang on.
John still has his original C-3PO action figure from 77.
With a silver leg? Right. Okay, so we're going to touch on The Mandalorian now. So if you haven't seen it, there are going to be spoilers.
Oh,
So,
I want to start off.
hang on. So we're going to talk about The Mandalorian in 3, 2, 1.
We didn't warn you.
So that's it. Your game now. Pat Breeze. Right, kick him from the room now.
Get out.
Kick him from the room. No, seriously, kick him. Kick him. Kick him.
Get out.
I've never seen Jar Jar Binks in the same room as Jimmy. Because maybe Jar Jar Binks is in the room with you. Maybe just you never know.
There's always anything about Jimsies.
Callum, you talk about this at work, I will kill you.
I won't because
I want to help, Dad.
I won't name names, but a certain manager at work on the watch I work on walks like Jar Jar Binks. Just watch him next time when he walks past.
It has been noted. It has
Yes.
been noted. It has.
You sure he's not like General Grievous?
No. He's
no.
Punching
He does-
over.
he's-
He doesn't
Yeah.
cough.
he's
And
lovely.
actually, I've got an interesting fact.
Uh-oh.
Did you know that General Grievous was actually a normal human, but then something went wrong because he was a scavenger, but he wanted to be upgraded. So they upgraded him to a
Callum
robot.
knows this.
So then he would have more abilities and all of that. And then he turned into a Jedi hunter, which he would hunt Jedis. And every time he killed a Jedi, he would say, "Your lightsaber will be a perfect to my collection."
There you go. Callum, where did that one come from, Cal?
What about General Grievous?
Yeah. How far back did that start? Was that Rebels?
No, he wasn't in
No. He was
Yeah, so
right. I need to think now quickly.
Was
Right.
that
where-
novelization?
I think it was just after Phantom Menace and just before Attack of the Clones. Because, like Mika said, he was a scavenger. He had an accident and he had to be upgraded. But once he was upgraded, Count Dooku was sort of mocking him, saying, "Right, you're now the Grand General of the Droid Army," and he's like calling him a droid. But he didn't like that, so he fought something. I think he fought one of those assassin robots in Mandalorian, the one with the funny head. He managed to kill it.
IG-88.
That's the one, yeah. And he managed to kill it with one of the Magna Guard staffs, but he said he didn't want this weapon. He was pointing at Count Dooku's lightsaber, saying he wants one of them. And then he was like, "Oh, you have to go out and find one, like from the Jedi or whatever."
Wow.
And then that's what happened. But also, speaking of Magna Guard, he wanted them to look more humanoid than droid. That's why they all wear capes, along with General Grievous, because he doesn't like being called a droid, or he didn't want to be a droid. Like, well, feeling like a droid. Yeah.
Wow, that's mad.
And if you look,
See, I didn't even know that.
And if you look in Revenge of the Sith as well, when he captures Anakin and Obi-Wan, you can see in his cape he's got little pockets,
Yes.
and they're just full of lightsabers.
Carry on, Mick.
And like I said, Grievous actually was a droid, but he, like you said, he didn't want to be a droid.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he actually felt a little bit proud about himself, because if he fought against any Jedi, you know, he's got 4 arms and he's going with them at 4 lightsabers.
Exactly. That's why it still makes me question how Obi-Wan won against Grievous all the time. Because half the time he would go with his 4-arm method with 4 lightsabers, and yet Obi-Wan could still defend himself with 1 lightsaber, which still makes me think.
And in Revenge of the Sith, obviously, also you saw Obi-Wan cut off Grievous's hands.
Yes.
In the Clone Wars as well. This might be a spoiler if you have never watched Clone Wars. Kit Fisto and another one, and a couple of their commanders, Kit Fisto was able to cut off his legs, and he had some bullet wounds in the back of his thing and all of that, in his shoulders and in his eye as well.
There you go. Sorry, I managed to catch all of it. I was just outside having a cough and a splutter. I'm all good now. Back to normal.
Good.
So, Mandalorian, Jon Favreau.
I love it.
Right, let's sit in.
On to the next scene.
The vision that he's had making the Mandalorian, just wow. I mean, what episode are you up to? Excuse me. What episode are you up to, Cal? What number?
Believe it or not, only number 2 at the moment. Because my Wi-Fi has been a bit weird. Obviously, at work, it's not the best anyway. Yeah. So I managed to get the first one in at work, but at home, my Wi-Fi has been a bit on my phone. Yeah.
That's it.
So, yeah.
You've only got so many days to recover after a week on the ship, right? So you've got a million and one other things to catch up on. What number are you up to?
I've done them all so far.
What are you now up to? Have you watched number 6, the new one?
No, I don't think I have either.
So we're all up to number 5.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely adore
Baby Yoda.
No, the Mandalorian. Baby Yoda is just an extra bonus cool thing. I know it's there for marketing. I know that but it's just cool. It's kind of like when you've got a comedy duo, you've kind of got the cute and funny one, but then you've got like
the serious
the miserable and serious one. And I think, like, from that point of view, I think they both work really, really well. Yeah. And I absolutely love all the nods to all the past Star Wars.
Yeah.
Alan, you with us?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, sorry. You just kind of done that thing.
Oh, sorry. No, I was thinking then. Sorry. Yes, no, The Mandalorian, I think is quite good because obviously I'm a massive fan of like the Flash series, Arrow series, but The Mandalorian, obviously, how you got on my phone, thank you again. Where I've watched it so far, I'm already enjoying it. Like, the way I see it is, I think maybe in one of the episodes or later in second season, if I do a second season or whatever, Yoda rubs off on the Mandalorian, if that makes sense. Say like the Mandalorian's going to kill one of his targets, but at the same time, Baby Yoda has seen this target do good things, and he's like, no, don't kill him. He's not as bad as you think he is. And then the Mandalorian's like, if I ever see you again, I'll blast your head off or something. But
yeah, I mean, I've looked at some of the theories online. you know, were they kind of, obviously you're only at number 2. This is really difficult to talk about now.
It doesn't bother me. Spoilers does not spoil me at all. I'll still watch
Right.
it.
Have you met Baby Yoda?
Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
That's right.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah. Well, as you know, the Mandalorian gets him and then delivers him as the package to the Empire. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're there so far. In episode 3, the Mandalorian has a change of heart and goes back to rescue Baby Yoda from the Empire.
Yep.
When he gets there, they've got Baby Yoda on an operating table, and they're doing like tests or something on him.
Okay.
So it makes you wonder, what are they doing? Are they using bits of the Force of Baby Yoda? Are they taking bits and pieces? Are they taking DNA from him or anything like that? And it makes me wonder whether or not they'll be adding that to kind of possibly the Emperor. Could they do that because of the midichlorians in the count? Would this tie in? Because I mean, you think of the timeline of this. I mean, this is only 3 years after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
4 years, something like that. Or would it be because this sort of like group of Empire, maybe they've gone rogue? Maybe Baby Yoda is kind of like the last of his kind.
Maybe they
Sure
want
that's where it fits in the timeline.
Yeah. So only a couple of years after Return of the Jedi, because when he handed it over to Empire,
Yeah. So
I'm sure they said it was 3 or 4 years after Return of the Jedi. I'm sure someone in the chat room is going to know. But I mean, during that time, I mean, when you kind of like look at the details, when you kind of go into the opening shots of it, you know, he's walking through, you know, where was he to begin with? Was it Tatooine to begin with?
looked like it, didn't it?
He's walking through the streets, and then you've got all like the buckets, stormtrooper buckets on these spikes and on the floor, and
Yeah.
all of these bits, and then you've got like Jabba's little mate Salacious Crumb, yeah, being roasted, and then like those in the basket behind. And I love that. I love the fact that it's kind of catered like for the older Star Wars guys as well.
So
Yeah.
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 But also there's a lot of kind of throwbacks as well, not just to the Star Wars, but also to kind of like what I grew up watching, like Sergio Leone, like Western movies with my dad, you know, like all of those types of things, because there's a real kind of proper Western gunslinger vibe about it as well. And I think they've nailed it so well to have that kind of feel mixed with the Star Wars universe and a character which I must admit I love, absolutely adore the Mandalorian. I think he's awesome.
It is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of the things.
I do. Oh no, Callum.
Oh, was it? The one thing I'll just say quickly I like about the Mandalorian, they haven't gone with the cliche Mandalorian jetpack. Feddy's have done the same armor, but there's no jetpack or anything like all the other Mandalorians you see. This one, he's got a cape, a sniper rifle, and a blaster pistol. That's it. He's good.
It's not just a sniper rifle, is it? Is it a pulse rifle?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Just disintegrate things like on impact. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's such a good movie, series. And Ryan Johnson, he posted something a little while ago saying that he kind of been to the set. He'd seen Baby Yoda, and it's not as impressive in real life. But they worked out the timeline that he went there, and it was actually during the second season. So it looks like we've got Baby Yoda for more than just one season.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool.
That would be quite cool.
So how you what you're thinking? What were your thoughts?
Well, I think the Mandalorian is quite a good character to have. I don't think there's nothing particularly wrong with him. I think everything they've done with him is top notch. But I think definitely my favourite character is Baby Yoda, because even though he, you know, he's a little baby, he's quite incredible.
He's got,
like, remember episode 4?
Don't touch that. Don't test it. When they're in the spaceship.
Yeah.
Is that 5?
I think that's episode 3-ish, and baby, people doing music with it now.
Yeah.
So it could be
Yeah. They drop
driving
memes
home
left,
for
right, and centre.
Christmas
Oh yeah.
to then just, I don't know.
Well, what was it? Driving home from Christmas, and then it went into like, was it the Disturbed or Limp Bizkit? And they've done all these different ones. Did I send you one the other night? Did I send you the Toto Africa one?
Yes, I think you did. Yeah.
Don't touch
Yes.
that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Love that. Absolutely love it. So yeah. But I mean, I think it also goes to prove that they weren't ready for the success of that show or how successful it would be. Because I mean, just even the fact that there's no real merch. I mean, I looked online the other day. All right, you can get like the Black Series Mandalorian
Yeah.
for about 25 quid. But it's not it's only in like his original armor. It's not like the upgraded like Beskar armor that he gets like in the second episode, third episode.
Third.
Baby Yoda, forget it. Nothing at all. The female shock trooper that you encounter in episode number 3, 4,
Yeah.
5.
What, where they were wrestling?
Yeah. That was episode 5, wasn't it?
Episode 4.
Episode 4. Cara Dune, who's played by one of my favourites. Anywho, you can get her. You can find other various like Mandalorians that you can get, which are part of the Mandalorian series. I mean, we were in the Entertainer the other day. They've got the Funko Pop Mandalorians in there, the Cara Dune Funko Pop, but yet no Baby Yoda, and you're not getting them there until, was it March?
I think so.
But you can pre-order them now.
Oh wow. Okay.
So you can get kind of like those figures, but you can't get a Baby Yoda one, which is opening up really nice for like the black market traders. Because when you look in other places like Etsy, you've got people which are like handcrafting like crochet Baby Yodas, felt designs for Baby Yodas, all these different bits and pieces. You've got some like rip-off T-shirts and bits and pieces on like Redbubble and Etsy as well. But again, they dropped the ball on the marketing for the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Before doing it.
But it goes to prove the vision that Jon Favreau has and why I think he should be the one kind of spearheading any future projects for Lucasfilm / Disney / Star Wars.
He could be the savior, of Star Wars. I would agree with that, because obviously his success with Mandalore and that. The only thing I don't like about Baby Yoda, well, no, two things. One I like, one I hate, is obviously where they're using him as a selling face, or the next Groot, because you know what Baby Groot was like. He came out in toys, T-shirts, and that because he's just adorable. But the thing I like about Baby Yoda is he's not even a baby. He's 50 years old at that time point. And obviously, the older he gets, the more powerful I think he's going to get, because obviously, spoilers again, I've seen scenes where he's trying to use the Force at certain points to save the Mandalorian. But apart from that, either he grows up, becomes a Jedi like Yoda himself, or hopefully they'll describe what his race actually is, so it stops being called Baby Yoda. I don't know, he's called a baby Trandoshan or something, but obviously he's not a Trandoshan.
Because no one knows what the race he is. No one knows what race Yoda ever was. It's not really sort of like public knowledge out there. I mean, you can look at stuff like, Wikipedia, you can look at stuff like fandom, you can go through sort of like various Star Wars encyclopedias like I own, but you will never find out what race Yoda is. If anyone knows, then please let us know, and let us know. Cite the source, because we'd love to know. Wouldn't we?
I think the other good thing about Yoda is you only see three versions of him, 3 of his species. You see Yoda himself. He has another one there in Phantom Menace, but he disappears off the council after. And then obviously you've got Baby Yoda. So obviously either his race ain't a big race, or they're scattered around the galaxy or whatever.
Yeah, no.
But-
What about, for instance, if they all originated from Dagobah, which is why Luke found
That would
Yoda
be
there.
that would be quite interesting. Also, people would be like, I don't know, Dagobah. I thought it was only a swamp planet, but if Yoda came from there, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, right, where are we? Let's have. You got questions as well? Oh no, Mika's okay. You all right? Okay, no worries at all. Yeah, cool. Okay, so it's just me and you for a minute there, Cal.
Oh man.
Right, so when we look at the Star Wars movies and that, so each movie is made. I'm not sure whether or not this actually includes merchandise as well.
Okay.
But like number 9, Attack of the Clones, it had a budget of $115 million. It made $477.5 million. Number 8, Revenge of the Sith, had a budget of $113 million. It made $530 million. Rogue One, that had a $200 million budget, and I loved Rogue One.
Yeah.
That only made $540 million.
I thought that'd
Last
make more,
Jedi?
to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, same as. Last Jedi had a $200 million budget as well. That made 596. Not kind of surprising, but
Yeah.
I would like to point out when these were cited, that was still at the cinema. Phantom Menace, that was budgeted at only 115 million. That made $806.5 million. Return of the Jedi, the budget for that 32.5 million. That made 840 million.
Oh, okay.
Empire Strikes Back, they had a budget of only 18 million for that.
Here we go. Yep.
Have a guess.
I'm gonna say, what was the last one? 8 million.
840 million.
I'm gonna say it made twice the amount of that much.
No. That was 877 million that made.
Oh.
Right. The second highest grossing Star Wars film of all time was The Force Awakens. That had a $245 million budget. Budget. That made $965.5 million. So thus for leaving the number 1 top grossing Star Wars film.
Wow.
It had A New Hope. It had a budget of only 11 million. To date, so far, it's made 1.6 billion.
Wow. Okay.
I know, right?
Wow. Okay.
I was really, really, really surprised to see that the Force Awakens was like the second highest grossing Star Wars movie.
There could be a few reasons for that. Because obviously you introduce the new characters, you'll be like, what the fuck? And then obviously people have seen like the posters, they saw a new Death Star, but obviously stuck in a base. It might have been that scene where you've got them on stuck in a base, but you see Kylo walking down and all you see is his hand and his lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been, I'm not saying that'd be the selling point, but if that just came out now and I just saw that, I'd be like, yep, I'm going to see it because of this guy with this brand new lightsaber.
Yeah,
who was he? Yeah.
It was no different to like how a lot of us felt when Phantom Menace came out, because we hadn't had a Star Wars movie for so many years. When that came out, it was, and how much did that make? Phantom Menace. Bear with me a sec. See, the Phantom Menace was like 5th in the list. See, I would have expected that to be a lot higher, and I would have expected Empire to be like second highest, because without doubt, Empire is still the best Star Wars movie. Fact, it is.
Oh yeah.
There's no ifs, no buts.
I'm
It is the great
surprised.
Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I'm surprised as well that Attack of the Clones didn't actually make a bit more money for people when they went to see it at the cinema, because
I
I
think
wasn't. Oh, go on.
no, are you
Oh,
over there? Okay.
um,
Yeah, no, that's all right. That's fine.
I wasn't going to see Attack of the Clones at the start of it because I thought I saw Phantom Menace. I was okay with it, but when I walked past the poster one day, I saw Yoda with his lightsaber
Mm-hmm.
ignited, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Does Yoda fight in this?" And
Yeah.
obviously, one of my friends went to see it, and then they told me, "Oh, you need to see Attack of the Clones because it drops major details about like the New Hope and that." And I was like, "Does it, bro?" And obviously, I went to see it. You saw the clones in their white armor. You're like, oh, "It's the stormtroopers." And then obviously, you have Yoda appearing out of well, not out of nowhere, walking into the hangar, and he's fighting Count Dooku. He's doing all this jumping and that, which I found awesome because obviously, I loved Attack of the Clones. That's one of my favorite films. Because
I mean, again, you know, that's your generation of your trilogy,
yeah,
and that's what I mean. For us, we will always have our own kind of
well, yeah, like you said,
our
your
favourites.
generation, it'll probably be like Empire Strikes Back. That'll be your favorite film. My generation, maybe I know most of my friends like Phantom Menace, which I can understand. I like Attack of the Clones because it obviously also describes how Anakin got his robotic hand, and like I said, stormtroopers and the idea of the stormtroopers and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, not a lot of people realise that, you know, the clones and that the clone troopers were Mandalorian, and I didn't even know till recently that their armor was actually modelled on Mandalorian armor.
And their ships.
Yeah, I had no idea on that. So I mean, when you look at like the cavalry gunship, and then you kind of look at the Razor Crest in the new Mandalorian, you can kind of see there are similarities there between, apart from sort of like this, the gun in bays and stuff like that. There's a lot of similarities there, man.
Yeah.
So let's have a look. Let's go in a little bit into Stormtroopers because, as you know, I like Stormtroopers a bit.
I like it a lot.
So, I mean, some of the things here. I mean, I've gone through a couple of articles online that I found because there's a point I want to touch on later, which I could have. I tried sitting down. I tried writing a few times myself. I just couldn't think of the words to put it properly. But luckily enough, some lovely, lovely, wonderful, awesome person on Reddit has put their theory out there, which is identical to mine. So I'll give credit to that person. But it's why the Empire were the good guys.
Yeah.
I mean, we've spoke about this before. I think I've sent you a video on it before, which is exactly what I think and how I feel. But anyway, so some of the secrets of Stormtrooper armor. So Stormtroopers are one of the most menacing visions throughout the Galactic Empire. Their all-clad white armor is representation of the Empire's strength in uniformity. A natural progression of the clone troopers that won the Clone Wars for the Empire. Stormtroopers are elite soldiers that can be charged with an assortment of missions, but with the purpose of maintaining the Empire's stronghold on the galaxy. While not always represented as the pinnacle of modern armies, the reality is that these ruthless warriors' effectiveness cannot be ignored. Named after the fierce German squads of World War I, stormtroopers are designed to be efficient and strike fear into those who may even think of taking arms against the Empire. To do this, stormtroopers are equipped with some of the most sophisticated military armor in the galaxy. Stormtrooper armor goes well beyond just plates covering the wearer's body. Right, so one of the first things that came up was non-gender specific. So while the movie watching public first witnessed a female stormtrooper during The Force Awakens, with the introduction of Captain Phasma, there has been no lack of females among the stormtrooper ranks. While the original clone army was purely male as the Empire moved to conscripted warriors, women were accepted. According to Servants of the Empire, Rebel in the Ranks, a Rebels junior novel, females were pulled into their own units once donning their armor, though it is impossible to differentiate among other troopers, given there are no visual differences between male-female armor. Not only is the Empire's vision of a uniform army intact, but the gender of the one who bested you is ambiguous as their identities.
Okay.
I don't know about that. There's not much of a difference. Well, there is a bit of a difference, isn't there? I mean, let's take into consideration, I'm pretty sure some of the male stormtroopers probably would have had a bigger plate down there.
I was just going to say that. I think on both bodies, there'll be bigger plate in different areas. So obviously on the males, yeah.
Exactly. Yep. And then obviously we all know that not every lady's blouse potatoes are the same.
Exactly. Yes.
So, because when you think, people can say, well, they're kind of hollowed out, so that no, not really, because you actually got another plate in the design of the originals, which is what absorbs or is meant to absorb any sort of like blaster bolt that hits. The energy from hitting that is meant to be dispersed within the plate behind the plate.
Yeah. Because obviously, if they take it in one place, it will burn literally straight through. So obviously, that plate is supposed to like sort of spread the damage over, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's you've got like so you've got the chest plate of the stormtrooper, but in the reality you'd have that chest plate, but then another plate behind that, and then like filling in between the two to help disperse the electrical bolt.
Yeah.
So you haven't really got a great deal of room to kind of move about under there.
Not really. It's the same for their helmets as well. Obviously, they've got the face. It's supposed to look intimidating, but if you had one of them on, your visual prowess and that it's limited because like take the clone troopers helmet for example. They've got that big black bit in the middle, so they can see a lot around them. But with the stormtroopers, they've only got like the little eye bits. So if someone, say, if you're running up to the side of a stormtrooper, he won't notice till the last minute you're swinging for him or trying to tackle him or her.
We will get to that in a second. Because, as you know, Mika and I, we both have stormtrooper helmets. We've both got buckets. And when you put them on, it is genuinely really difficult to see when you've got them on, isn't it? And it's the same like when we had the Vader one. I mean, we both got like the Hasbro Black Series Vader helmets, which go all the way over. And again, same with that. It is really, really difficult to see in them. So you can understand why a lot of them can't either hit things or fall over or hit their heads on doors and stuff like that. So we'll go on to 18 pieces. While there have been varying design configurations of Stormtrooper armor, the most famous remains that of A New Hope. The iconic white armor was the Empire's first step towards increased uniformity and loyalty past the Clone Wars. This new armor was designed as an improvement of the Phase 2 clone trooper armor and was composed of 18 overlapping panels as well as 2 boots. The individual panels are made out of plastoid composite plates along with the boots. This plate arrangement was chosen for increased mobility, although Stormtrooper armor would change throughout the years. This plate arrangement would see little variation.
Okay. I can understand the moving bit, but yet again, the clones didn't struggle either with their Phase 2 armor.
Yeah, but when you look at kind of the clone troopers, when they go into battle, compared to kind of the original Stormtroopers, I mean, the clones, they no worries, they're kind of like sprinting down the battlefield, whereas like, the originals are kind of getting off drop ships and hitting heads and tripping over and not being able to hit like a cow's backside with an electric guitar, they just couldn't do it. So how it could have been an improvement on sort of like Phase 2 like clone armor, I've got no idea.
I do not know. If they had
before you go on to the next bit, a few comments from the chat room. Jeff is in.
Jeff Demers.
Yeah,
Jeff Demers in the house.
Do the stormtroopers put it about a bit like we do. But that also leads into another question that was Enjoy Being.
Yep.
I thought they were robots.
No. Although they're controlled like robots,
Yes.
which we'll touch on in a sec.
Like in The Force Awakens,
Mhm.
you see obviously with Finn.
Yep.
Obviously taking his helmet off and it's a person.
Mhm.
So they're obviously reared from a very early age and given a number to go by.
Clone troopers were.
So it wasn't always a Star
No.
Wars then, no?
No, the first phase, Phantom Menace, and Attack of the Clones, those were clone troopers, and they were.
Okay.
They were all clones. But then after that, the Galactic Empire then went to conscript. So anyone that was conscripted went. But that was a thing as well. I mean, when you kind of like have one of those coming at you, you wouldn't know, would
No.
you? Because you can't. There's no real features there to show whether or not it was human, or you never knew what was behind there.
Unless
So
they all moved identity as well.
yeah,
The
exactly.
other question from Mark,
Yep.
is the Stormtrooper armor blaster proof? If not, what is the point?
Yeah, no, it is. It's meant to be. It's meant to be blaster proof, which is what we just touched on there with the forward plate here and the plate behind it to help like help me out here. Expand the shock.
Yeah, disperse. That's it.
Dissipate the electric shock.
Yeah, or dissipate. Yeah.
I know. Did I touch on that in one of the other? Bear with me a second, guys.
The radio voices, Enjoy Being, is
Yep.
actually from a mic that is in them.
That's correct.
So they all sound exactly the same.
That's right.
Otherwise, then they're going to also have their identity shown because.
That is going to be touched on in a second as well.
Oh, okay. I'll shut
Right.
up then.
No. These are all important things, because then if people know they're on the way, they're not going to turn off, are they? So win-win. And Mika's just fallen asleep.
Oh.
I know, he's done so well. He was just sort of like, I can't come on.
It's
like,
all right.
we're doing it with Callum. Okay, I'll come on for a while. Right, so vacuum sealed and adjustable. Along with the traditional 18 pieces of armor that would make up a stormtrooper's iconic plate arrangement, each individual would wear a black body glove underneath. Beyond sealing the wearer's body against the outside environment and creating a vacuum seal, which would make the entire armor airtight, the body glove also has an internal temperature apparatus, or apparatus if you're American. This system would self-adjust to the user's internal temperature and modulate itself accordingly to keep the wearer pleasant. Shouldn't that be temperature pleasant? As such, sand troopers would not have to worry about the sweltering heat, as their bodies would always be cool. The same would go for any stormtroopers, as the system would keep them either warm, cool, or pleasantly humid. That is so British, isn't it? I want to stay pleasantly humid, as the situation and climate would dictate. Right, so next bit. So space ready. So next time you see a slew of stormtroopers being sucked up into the void when a ship loses vacuum, just know that they have a 20-minute window to get saved without any Princess Leia, Mary Poppins flying through space type plot shenanigans.
Okay.
Yeah. Extreme environments. Creating specialized stormtrooper armor for specific extreme environmental conditions. Not only did this add a flair to the enemy troopers, it also opened the imagination to countless special forces. While most of us default to sand troopers and snow troopers, stormtrooper armor also came with shock trooper, forest trooper, sea trooper, scout trooper, and over 20 more different configurations. Talk for a second, Callum.
Right. Okay. Yes, you have all your varied troopers. You got your scout troopers. Obviously, they appear in Return of the Jedi. Then, obviously, like you said, you got your shore troopers, which make a magical appearance in Rogue One, which is fantastic.
I love shore troopers.
They looked awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think what else. Yeah. Oh, yes, your Death Troopers. They made an appearance, all in their black armor and that.
That's it. Is it Phantom Troopers?
Yeah, Phantom Troopers. I'm
Phase
trying to
2, Phantom, and then obviously Snow Troopers. Love Snow Troopers.
Yeah, Snow Troopers.
So
Yes.
we've got our man that we know that works on one of the ships. He's 501st Snow Trooper, and if you're watching,
Yes.
hello, my man. But yeah, right. So let's move on from that one. So air filters. Part of the advantages of having your army wearing high protective but cumbersome armor is the ability to integrate systems that would otherwise be impossible in a uniform. The armor then is much more than just protection against enemy fire. It is also protection from the environment. While there are specialized armor configurations designed for the harshest of all conditions, all Stormtrooper helmets have a built-in filtration system to make inhospitable atmosphere breathable. This effectively made Stormtroopers invulnerable to most types of chemical attacks, as well as allowing them to navigate low oxygen terrains or areas with a high degree of manufacturing produced toxic gases.
Now that is touched on in Force Awakens because
Yeah.
Finn, he describes it to, is it Rey?
Yeah, when they're
when
hiding out.
Yeah, when they think Han and Chewie are stormtroopers, but obviously they're not because he says, "Oh, the helmets only vent out smoke screens and that," but no, not toxins. So the helmet is probably the best bit of armor they've got, to be honest.
Yeah.
But,
and on that note as well, one of the greatest advantage of Mandalorian armor was the amount of information that the wearer had during battle. This information would come across inside the helmet's visor in the form of a head-up display or HUD. Naturally, when creating the clone armor and then Stormtrooper armor, the HUD was a central focus of the design. However, beyond the quality of information that the Mandalorians would have access to, Stormtrooper armor is connected to a central database. This allows the HUD to display not only details about the battlefield surrounding the Stormtrooper, but complex directives and formations provided by their galactic superiors. Did not know that.
nor did I.
How does a fully armored stormtrooper go to the toilet?
I can answer that for you right here, right
Go
now.
on, Callum.
They have a built-in system, so if they pee or poo, it is sort of. I can't remember what it's done, but it's turned into something to. I think it's actually turned into nutrients for them to keep them from obviously eating
It's a
or
body
actually,
waste smoothie.
basically, yes.
Yeah,
So
body
whatever
waste
they
smoothie.
ate, they re-eat when they basically they regurgitate in their suit, which is disgusting.
I think I've just done that in my mouth.
Anyway,
So,
thanks
there
for
we
that,
go.
Cal.
Yeah.
Right. That's quite funny that because the next thing we're coming up to involves the mouth. Tongue dexterity. With the full computer accessible through the HUD, Stormtroopers need a way to access, manipulate, and provide information through their HUD system with limited arm movements. Why limited hand movements? With an E11 blaster rifle in their hands, it's probably difficult to scroll with a mouse or use their arm. Given this shortcoming, Stormtroopers learn to utilize special controls built into the helmet that can be accessed with their mouths. As detailed in the now Star Wars Legends line of novels by Karen Travis, clone troopers would operate the HUD with mouth and tongue movements as well as teeth clicks.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's only British
Oh,
stormtroopers, though.
Only the British. I don't know. Mark's from Australia, and he's actually quite civilized for being an Aussie. He gets it. He does. So
Talking about
Okay.
being British, I've had a question and I don't quite know how to answer it. How can you see The Mandalorian in Britain? Can't find it on Netflix, Amazon Prime.
This one's for you, Jimmy.
9. Message me privately on Twitter or Facebook if you have me on there, and we'll talk after the show.
Thank you.
Right. So going back, can't remember. Was it out of mind earlier that said about the privacy thing, or it was someone made something to privacy. Was it? It might have been Jeff about putting it about a bit.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. Private channels. One of the great advantages to Stormtrooper armor is communication. While most armies in the Star Wars universe has some sort of communications for the battlefield, a Stormtrooper's helmet brings with it one of the best communication packages in the universe. The beauty of the system is that Stormtroopers can talk with each other without outsiders listening to their conversation. With such a robust system, Stormtroopers can either speak to their supervisors, their squad mates, or any specific trooper that may be in the vicinity, all without the outside world hearing what is going on. Not only is this an excellent tactical feature for the battlefield, it also adds to the stoic menace of the Stormtrooper's exude. However, with the ability of having perfectly quiet conversations with the troopers around you, there comes a chance for mistakes and betrayal. Knowing this, the Empire decided that all Stormtrooper conversations were to be recorded in a database. These recordings would act as proof against any conversations aimed against the Empire. So even though you had all that cool stuff.
Also, to add to that, you know, in Rogue One where the Death Troopers are speaking, it sounds like a load of gobbledygook come through the helmet. That's what it sounds like if the rebels try to listen into it.
It's encrypted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. The next part to that is these recordings had an even greater use, though, as their supervisor would check them to determine Stormtrooper effectiveness and determine is the Stormtrooper at hand, if the Stormtrooper at hand was wasting time chatting with his squad mates or generally lollygagging. That's a good job they don't ever record any of our conversations on the ship, innit? Any result by a Stormtrooper that was not optimal would be cause to have his record automatically scanned.
A couple of things keep coming up about the Leia beginning.
It's nearly Christmas, John. It's nearly Christmas.
I just need to grab my charger quickly for my laptop. Sorry.
Jeff, doesn't it make sense to have a HUD inside? Shouldn't be direct message to their brain.
Yeah. I mean, you would have thought, obviously, kind of with the technology that would have been possibly about by then. So, I mean, it's like the same when you kind of see that when they take Vader's helmet off and bits and pieces, there's pieces connected here, there, and everywhere. So, yeah, it would have made sense. But, you know, maybe for the cost of it and how kind of, I don't know, disposable maybe they were, you know, because, I mean, they weren't as effective as clone troops. I'm kind of assuming there was a lot of them that probably got killed. So maybe cost versus disposability or something like that, I imagine, Jeff. What do you think?
Yeah. Enjoy being. Where was this book printed? Which galaxy? Does the author talk about avian races?
Well, funny you should mention that. No. Although when you look through some of the characters that are in Star Wars, there are quite a lot of characters that could be linked to the other bits and pieces that I look into. Because I know that we've got a couple of new viewers this evening, which are friends of mine or newer friends of mine that actually are unaware of the show that we do or the show that we've done for a while now. So yeah, absolutely. And there are. I don't know if I've got... Give me a second. One of my books here.
I do apologise for that. Oh, I am back. I do apologise.
I'll let you off this one.
Hi everyone. Hope. Sorry, I've been away for about 5 minutes. I hope Callum hasn't bored you too much, but I'm back now.
I've just returned. Okay.
I know. I just went to go and get my book. So the one that I've just picked up is Star Wars: The Ultimate Visual Guide. I have got so many Star Wars books. It's not even funny. I've got the Atlas of the Star Wars universe over there. Looking here, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 massive hardback encyclopedias, and all different bits and pieces. Out there, I've got a book bigger than that, hardback, all about the rise of Darth Vader, and I even managed to get that signed by David Prowse when we got to meet him. That book ain't ever going anywhere. In fact,
No, that's nice, man.
I haven't even taken it out. Yeah, man, I haven't not even taken it out of the bag since the day we got it signed. No, tell a lie. Once I did, because I had this 1 week moment where I was like, I've just got to look at it one more time. And it was cool.
My pleasures.
But it's the same when Mika met Jeremy Bullock, who was Boba Fett. I mean, like, for him, that was like massive. So right, what I'm doing at the moment, I'm just going through, because I've got a couple of my friends in here from my other community that I belong to, and we were kind of looking at, because that was another show that I wanted to do at some point, and it was kind of the disclosure kind of versus Star Wars. I wanted to do that show. Maybe I will do that one. But it was kind of like looking through bits and pieces. I mean, one of the biggest ones that I've ever come up with has always been, you, Chewbacca and Bigfoot.
I think you've told me about this.
Yeah. Is that who it is? I mean, I know, like, obviously, George Lucas says that it was actually named, not named, it was based on his dog.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? I can't remember the dog's name now.
Well,
but I do find it kind of cool that it is very, very, very much like Bigfoot.
Yeah. Just Bigfoot doesn't carry around a crossbow that shoots out powerful laser bolts.
Can you think of any other? Oh, Sifo Dyas. I haven't got a proper good picture, but it looks like one of our usual Zeta friends.
Camino.
Has kind of big eyes.
E.T.?
No. A Zeta. Usual.
Oh, yeah.
Alien.
Okay, yeah.
It looks very much like one of those. I mean, there are many. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do a show. On Star Wars and the. Although I've never yet been able to find anything in Star Wars with a triangle head. Can you think of anything? I don't mean hammerhead. I mean like a proper triangle head.
No, not really.
What about anything? What about anything big with feathers?
Big with feathers.
Because you know a lot more about the canon stuff than I do. Can you think of anything that had?
I think there is an alien race that they don't have loads of feathers like a bird, but they do have feathers on certain parts of their body. I can't remember what the race is called. I'd need to look that up.
Make it happen, number one, and get back to me, because I know there's people that'd be curious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but if it is any consolation, for a little Easter egg, back to the Phantom Menace, E.T. is in the film.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
yes, he is.
The whole race of ETs.
Yeah.
And Yoda was in ET.
Yes, he was. Just had to think then.
Yeah, when he's out trick or treating.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how ET recognizes Yoda?
Yeah. So anyone out there, ET is confirmed to be in league with Star Wars. It is canon.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I say, I mean, there's one of the videos out there. It's been out there for years on YouTube, or there was a meme, weren't there, about it for a long time going out about how ET falls into the Star Wars universe and vice versa.
Yeah.
So no, they're not, Mark. They're real. Don't be so horrible. I tell you, that Mark Trano, he's trouble. He's trouble.
Well, you never know. An alien race might come to this world called the. Oh, damn it! I was going to make a joke now. It's gone. Never mind. Carry on.
No, it's Mark Trano's fault. He's nothing but trouble, that boy. He questions everything and everyone. Sarah, stop messing about. I wasn't going to take the computer off you.
Sorry.
Right, so video games. Everyone knows I'm a gamer. Everyone knows Mika's a gamer with his own gaming channel. You're a gamer. Jedi, Fallen Order.
I give it a 9. No, actually, I give it 8.5. Yeah, 8.5 out of 10.
You're more generous than I am. I give it 7.5, 8 maximum.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I won't ruin it just in case no one has played it yet.
No. Spoilers. Fair use. Spoilers. Go.
Oh, okay. Right. So the story I like.
Keep talking.
The story's quite nice. No, it's quite well planned, I guess. It's
nice.
it was quite nice actually. It's the actor who I do not like for the character you play as.
Yep.
Because I don't know. Do you ever watch Gotham?
No.
But the actor is the Joker in Gotham.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm back. You see, again, I managed to find lots of merch online for that. So for those that haven't seen it, let's see. Jedi Fallen Order, which my mum got for Mika for his birthday.
It's good. They could have done better though. I would have rather started off with the clone troopers, like you're fighting beside them or whatever, and Order 66 kicks off, and then it drags you, or says maybe there's a scene like 10 years later, they're all in Stormtrooper gear, or they're starting to get their Stormtrooper gear or whatever, because it would have made it a bit more interesting, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I only played it for a little while, and that's all I needed. Because like yourself, a good game, you can play it for 10, 20 minutes, and you know whether you're going to like it.
Yes.
And although it is amazing, the graphics are fantabulous. The ease of movement was pretty good as well. I just couldn't gel. I couldn't gel with the story. I really couldn't. You know how it starts off at right at the beginning, and you're in like the shipyard, and they're breaking up sort of like all the Republic cruisers and things like that.
Yeah.
Brilliant. It looked really, really good. And then you got to like start running about and doing all these. And I couldn't. If you had more of kind of like a free play option, I think it would have been so much better. But because you're kind of stuck to kind of that mission, you have to do that. You're
following the yellow brick road, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for me, that just didn't cut it. It did not cut it at all. It was basically, it reminded me of just like a platform game. I mean, you didn't even kind of have the freedom on it like you had with like the Force Unleashed.
Yeah,
it reminded me of like the second Force Unleashed.
Yeah. I don't.
No, the first,
have you ever played another game called Drake Uncharted? Or have you heard of
no,
that game?
I have got it. I've just downloaded it though.
I won't say anything there, but you'll see the similarities between that and Fallen Order.
If it's Yellow Brick Road, just tell me now so I can unload it.
No, it's not Yellow Brick Road. You got a bit more free roam on Drake Uncharted.
Right.
But you'll start seeing it once you get into the game.
Yeah. No, I just found it a little bit. Really, and I've got no problem running around looking for bits and pieces. Just let me get to places where things won't be.
Yeah.
Let me look at that rock over there and think, do you know what? I'm going to go and climb that because there might be something on top of it. Not, can't get up there. That was a real turn off for me. But again, as I say, the graphics I found totally amazing.
Oh yeah,
really did. So if you like something that looks pretty, get it. If you're not into the whole playing thing or you just want to follow one thing, then yeah, totally.
Yeah. I do like the planets they're bringing into it though. Not Kashyyyk, because Kashyyyk is overused, and that's the only thing I hate about Star Wars games. They will use Kashyyyk in every game they can get their hands on.
Yeah.
But like the looks of Dantooine, Ilum, and fun fact about Ilum is the Starkiller base. But yes, Well, it is because when you come to the planet, you see the planet, and there's a massive trench going around the entire planet, and that's the main place where kyber crystals came from. So,
Wow.
yeah.
I didn't know that, mate.
Well, there we go. Yeah, because Return. I don't think Ilum was going to be Starkiller Base until the Empire fell, but they're working on it, mining the kyber crystals for the Death Star. So obviously, when the Empire probably fell, they're like, oh yeah, we'll turn Ilum into Starkiller Base for a new Death Star or whatever. But yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Oh wow. There you go. Chewie bringing the knowledge. The first Battlefront. How fun was this game?
It was fun,
and
yes.
how annoying was it?
6%, yeah. I say 6 out of 10 for fun. 8 out of 10 annoying when playing it. Yeah.
What it was like Call of Duty with like a Star Wars feel, and then you kind of went and had like your training mission. I mean, how annoying was that speeder bike training mission?
Yeah, that was annoying. But with that mission, you could have easily made a story mode out of those training missions. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Just, I mean, take it back, glue it all together, a little bit of sellotape, a bit of duct tape, put it back together, and you get yourself a pretty reasonable.
Yeah, a bit of TLC. There we go.
What's the game you've been playing with Mika then, Callum?
That's the second one I've been playing.
Ah.
Yeah.
He often tells me when he's playing online with you.
This is easily 9 out of 10.
Yes, definitely.
This also, over the next 6 months, has the potential to be a 10 out of 10.
Yes. Because I won't drop it, but one of the new heroes they might be bringing into it, I'm looking quite forward to if they bring him into it.
What, BB-8?
Oh, no, Jesus, no. He has a purple lightsaber. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. I know who you mean. But did you buy the celebration pack?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, Mika's just got it as well for us. But he got it on the Xbox, and now I've got to get it on the PlayStation 4 for him now. So you guys are able to. But how exciting is that? I'm really looking forward to getting the Sith Trooper when it's released, when the new movie's released.
Yes. How?
Yeah. How many Star Wars related movies and shows are Disney planning?
Well, there's another trilogy that's maybe no. It was kind of in the works. Oh, do you know something I don't?
I do know something, but series-wise, I do.
Go for it.
Okay. Well, at Disney are debating about doing an Obi-Wan story, just like The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And they might be asking, is it McGregor? What's his name again? The one who played Obi-Wan back in Phantom Menace. Ewan McGregor. That's it. They might be asking him to play him on Tatooine.
Yeah. That'd be cool. So, what is this sort of like the lost years after Anakin turns? Is this a bit where he goes off and kind of puts himself in exile?
Yeah. So the way they might do it is between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope. So
that makes sense.
they'll be like what he's been up to, because obviously just hopefully he's not just been sitting there watching Luke grow up. That'd be a bit disturbing and weird and boring.
Well, there's nothing wrong with old men watching young children growing up.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was nothing weird about that. But it makes me wonder, did he keep an eye on Leia as well? Or because Bale was basically had his own army and everything like that, kind of knew that she was already well protected?
I think Obi-Wan did keep tabs on her as well, I think. Not actually going to the planet, but like speaking
Yeah.
to
Bail Organa.
Mel, yeah, asking how he's doing or whatever. Because obviously she knew of him because Mel Organa, or she found out who Ben Kenobi really was.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see if they do this, him speaking to Qui-Gon and Qui-Gon making an appearance, or Liam Neeson if he
Yeah.
wants to do the part again.
Yeah, mate, seriously. Yeah, even if it's sort of like Force Ghost kind of jobby or something like that.
Yeah. And also they do the fans' favourite fight again. Darth Maul, well, Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul. They've done it. Someone's done it on YouTube. Clone Wars, they've done it. Well, they've done it numerous times actually. And Rebels have done it, but I want like a real fight
Live
between
action.
those both. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
But it's strange because like Ray Park, he's still something's going on because when Solo, or just before Solo came out, he was posting lots of pictures or like videos of him training and putting little like hashtags at the bottom that everyone seemed to totally miss.
Yeah.
Apart from that bit there. So it kind of gave it away. Look at what he's putting out at the moment. I mean, I could be 100% wrong. But if you have a look at what he's putting out at the moment,
Yeah.
I think something's coming with Ray Park, Darth Maul. I think something's on the way.
It sounds like he's leading a bread trail for people.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's like Hamill. He always used to troll people and stuff. I mean, some of the leaks or alleged leaks and that I've heard recently, I feel so sorry for Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
I really, really do. Because if it is true that they've cut so much of his stuff out of the new movie, like they did out of the last movie, I don't think that's right.
But hopefully we didn't, because this Star Wars is supposed to be a long film.
Well, no, because they've cut it. They really, really butchered it, mate. Because originally it was like 4 hours something, but they've totally, totally butchered it. And there's so many different scenes which allegedly they filmed that have been cut, all because of bums on seats and new audiences.
Yeah.
So, with something else they've said is instead of celebrating everything else and everyone else that has gone before, like I was saying to you earlier, I would have loved to have seen the shot of Han, Luke, Leia, Lando, Chewie on the Falcon. Would have loved to have seen that.
Yeah, the whole gang back together.
But the way one of the leaks that have come out, or alleged leaks that have come out, is that that's not what Disney have pushed for or pushing for or anything. It's more of a celebration of the new characters.
Where Hayden Christian is supposed to come back along with Palpatine, I'm just hoping they don't do what they've done in Endgame with Marvel. Have you seen it before I carry on?
No. But I'm not a big
I'll tell
Marvel
you, right.
movie man.
In Infinity War, at the end, the villain wins. He gets rid of half the population with a special guard that could erase all life, basically, but he only got rid of 50% of it. So it's half the heroes, half civilians, whatever. And then in the second chapter, hopefully they don't do this film as chapters, that'll be annoying, is they all come back. There's like this massive battle at the end, and they're all coming back to life, and they're fighting this one guy in his army. I just hope they don't do that. They can't have Hayden Christian come back as Anakin, Obi-Wan comes back, Mace Windu. Just say all the Jedi Council come back to fight Palpatine and his army and whatever else is on those ships.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's just Palpatine by himself.
I mean, you look at the size of that dark. I think is it called the Dark Fleet?
Yeah, it's massive.
100 plus Star Destroyers, and that's without anything else. Probably TIE fighters. And each one of those contains so many. So, it's not like, I just hope it isn't one of those, we're just going to push the button and they're just going to kind of all be EMP'd and just drop from the. That would really, really disappoint me.
I don't think there will be, because there's a trailer I watched the other day, and you've got Poe in his X-wing flying through that storm or whatever, and he's flying between the Star Destroyers, like a little snippet of that trailer. So there's going to be a big battle, but the question is it going to be Palpatine versus the First Order and the Rebels, or is it going to be the First Order and Palpatine versus the Rebels?
I reckon that's going to be more like it. I mean, from what I've seen, what I understand, and what I've heard, I mean, we are in for yet another throne room battle between good and evil. You know, Luke, Vader, in front of the Emperor.
Yeah.
It's been done before.
It has, yes. Because there is a scene as well, isn't there, where the camera's slowly going up these like steps, and there's a throne there made out of stone, I think.
Yeah. You mean the Game of Thrones chair?
Yeah, basically.
Especially what it looks like, or the throne that Dave Grohl had when he broke his leg and he still went on tour with the Foo Fighters. Just putting it out there. I mean, it's no coincidence Dave Grohl looks like the drummer out of Nirvana. Could he also be the Emperor as well?
You never know.
Think about it. Think about it. So yeah, it's I don't want it to end badly. I really hope. I mean, as I said, you know, I've got real good hopes for it, but I don't know, dude. I don't know. Right, shall we go for some facts?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Is there anything, while I'm reading a couple of the facts out, is there any questions for either me or Callum from the chat room?
No, nothing from the chat room.
Okay. Right.
Although John says he did hear that Spock and Kirk show up. And
oh yeah, they will. They'll definitely show up in
it. Absolutely. And no, I'm going to leave that one because that was nearly rude. And I've just remembered we're on the Fascination Street child-friendly version. Right, one of the ones that I really liked was Darth Vader's chest piece had ancient Hebrew etched onto it.
Okay.
It reads, "His deeds will not be forgiven until he merits." That's pretty cool.
That's quite interesting, actually.
Did not know that. The blizzard in Hoth, those scenes were real. They were shot at, oh my good lord, Blaine Glacier near Finse, Norway, and no special effects were used.
Oh. Okay.
Yep.
Qui-Gon Jinn's communicator is actually a modified Gillette Lady Sensor.
Yes, it is.
Razor.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
and I've been trying to find one so I can actually make my own com to add to the rest of the Star Wars props and costumes that I got. Right. Darth Vader only appeared in 12 minutes of footage in the final cut of A New Hope.
Okay.
Crack on. Do a couple.
Yeah, I'm just having a look through to see.
Right.
Keira Knightley played Queen Amidala's decoy in The Phantom Menace at the age of 12.
Oh wow. Okay. Well,
damn.
Well,
that because she looks so much like Natalie Portman's mum, or Keira Knightley's mum, couldn't actually tell them both apart. What else we got? When Anakin fights the Tusken Raiders in Attack of the Clones, Qui-Gon Jinn's ghost in the background can be heard trying to stop Anakin from letting his fury take over.
Yes. Because Yoda's meditating and he's, I say, watching Anakin, but you hear Qui-Gon's voice as well when Yoda's meditated saying, "Anakin, don't stop."
Yeah.
So,
but he doesn't understand. Go on. Flash it up, whatever you do. Okay, I've got a question. Chewie, what's your most embarrassing story you can say about Jimmy?
Believe it or not, I haven't actually got any, but I've got an embarrassing one that involves Jimmy with me. So basically, and you remember this one, you mentioned it a few days ago when we was at work. When we was working one day, we was on a break, and I was on night shift. I came down in my shorts, and basically outside getting a breath of fresh air or whatever. And Jimmy's talking to me.
Just set the story. So the back end of the ship is the smoke deck, and when it was summer and really nice and sunny, all the crew were out there in their break time, catching a few rays, having fun, nice cold drinks.
Yeah.
Carry on, Callum.
All right, yeah. Basically, I came down in my shorts, but I haven't got the most colourful legs. They're basically white as ghosts. They're probably more whiter than Casper. And yeah, Jimmy was speaking to me. Then he decides to pull my shorts down, but at the same time, my shorts went all the way down. So I was standing there in my boxers and t-shirt with everyone else there.
It was a beautiful moment, and I can confirm that his legs go all the way up to his bottom.
So yeah, there we go.
I'm still so sorry about that.
I still laugh at it to this day. I found it funny.
Okay. James Earl Jones, Darth Vader's voice, was so sure the film would be a flop that he refused to allow his name to be published on the original credits of A New Hope.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
Mm.
He's got a great voice, I won't lie. But yeah, no, I can understand that. Was obviously I first heard his voice in The Lion King, and I loved his voice. But yeah, no, I can understand that. So
And it's really funny as well when you see the videos on YouTube of the lines actually being read out in the helmet by Dave Prowse.
Yeah. Oh, are they?
Have you never seen that?
No, I'm gonna have to look that up now.
If you go on YouTube and put on, I think it's Darth Vader's original voice or something like that. I think if you go on, when you finish on here, if you go to Fascination Street on YouTube, I actually have a whole playlist of Star Wars stuff at the bottom.
All right.
I've got all fan movies and like little cool bits that I found, little documentaries, and I'm pretty sure I've posted it in there.
Oh, I'll have a look on that.
Obviously, because he talked like that, it sounds a bit funny. You're a traitor to the Rebel Alliance. Sounds like a farmer. Honestly, it is so cool. Right. The sound of the Millennium Falcon was created by recording the engines of a jet airliner.
Oh, I've heard different. I was told it was by an elephant and then they played it backwards.
Interesting.
Yes.
We're going to fact check that one.
Have we talked about the Star Wars Mandela effect?
Star Wars Mandela effect.
Kind of touched on it earlier, didn't we? With C-3PO and his silver leg. Is that John, Mark, or Dave Partridge?
John.
Yeah. No, I made that comment earlier on when you said about your 77 C-3PO, and I said, is it the one with the silver leg? Do you know about that, Cal? The alleged Mandela effect of Star Wars, that so many people remember the original C-3PO having a silver leg.
Yes, I do remember this.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about, the Star Wars Mandela effect. I mean, I'm not really.
It's basically knowing that you've seen something, and you can replay everything that happened, but it was never made.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like people know, they swear that they've been to the cinema, they swear they brought a DVD of a certain film, but yet that film was never made. They could have told you who was in it, but yet they're not the only people that have seen it. Other people have seen it, other people know about it. But
like
Nelson
Nelson Mandela, that he had died when he hadn't.
Yeah, that so many millions of people thought that Nelson Mandela had actually died in prison, but he hadn't. But yet people saw the news of him dying. People saw his burial. You know, and we're not talking just sort of like one or two people. We're talking loads and loads and loads of people.
There's lots of things on the Mandela effect.
Yeah, man. I know obviously that's a little bit out of your comfort zone, that one, but it's something really, really worth looking into. It's very, very cool, very trippy. Are there any
I'll
other
look into
Star
that.
Wars Mandela effects?
Isn't there one in
Not
Return of the
somewhere
Jedi?
offhand. Hang on, I
Hang
will
on a second, mate.
have a look.
Are you going on to Goggle?
I am.
You're
Because
goggling.
I do believe before they brought Hayden Christian in Return of the Jedi, because she had Anakin as an older person as a Force ghost at the end, before Hayden Christian took that guy's place.
That's right. Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
I've got it on video. When they done. I'm trying to think. What year was it? When they done the refilming? Yeah, because I've got the original videos VHS box
I've
set
got
upstairs. Which
but I've got
has.
I've got the DVD with the original guy in it.
Yep.
Without Hayden.
And it's the same. I mean, like the other one as well is when they replaced Jabba the Hutt in the original New Hope. When Han goes back to Millennium Falcon, he's talking to a normal guy.
Yes, but they replaced him with
later on. Yeah, but when they've done the remakes, then they replaced it with Jabba as we know him, and yeah, I mean there was loads of different bits and pieces like that. But no, that's not one of the Mandela effects, but it's one of those things that only people with a certain age would know. I mean, I've said to Mika 1,000,001 times, you know, I got the special box set which come with the original theatrical film, and then the one that had been done with all the changes in. So I'm like, do you want to watch it? And he's like, no, I don't want to watch the original. I was like, really? Then you can kind of like have a look and see where bits and pieces are kind of different, and yeah, very, very, very mad.
So obviously the most known one of Star Wars is when Darth Vader says, no, I am your father.
Yeah.
When a lot of people actually think that he says, Luke, I am your father.
That's not no, exactly. Yeah, that's a biggie.
Yes. So that is a big one. There's one here, the Cantina. The Mandela effect theory has been around for a while. If you're not, you can look around the web, and our beloved franchises involved in it. And most people remember Darth Vader in ESB saying, Luke, I'm your father. So that's that one there. So it looks like I would have to research quite a bit, but yeah, there's so many different ones on different channels, so it would take me a while to go through them all.
Yeah, I think I just remembered another one when Han Solo's speaking to Greedo, because people were accusing Han Solo shot first, but they changed the scene where he made Greedo shoot first, then Han Solo shot.
Right.
Yes, I remember that scene nice and clearly. Yeah, we're just talking about. We're just speaking about Greedo and Solo, who shot first.
C-3PO isn't all gold.
No, silver leg.
Yeah, silver leg.
Yeah, he had a silver leg the entire time.
But I think that was blown out the water by Anthony Daniels anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right. This is my Stormtrooper messenger bag.
Nice.
I'm about to do something that I've not done for a long time. In here, the complete Vader.
Ooh.
Size of that bad boy. It's huge.
And it's shiny.
Very, very shiny.
Oh, apparently, the sounds of the blasters were from hitting an antenna mast cable.
Okay.
And there it is, dude. There's the signature.
Nice.
In silver. Dave Prowse is Darth Vader.
That's awesome.
I love this book. That's it. I feel better. I've shared it with the world. It's out there.
Okay, a couple more facts.
Yep.
Did you know Sylvester Stallone originally auditioned for the role of Han Solo, but also Cindy Williams and Jodie Foster also auditioned for the role of Princess Leia?
I knew Jodie Foster had. That was a few years after she'd done Taxi Driver, and she'd already got herself a name.
There you go.
Right. Right. It is the fastest ship in the galaxy and can travel 25,000 light years per day.
Oh.
Right. The majority of stormtroopers are left-handed due to the construction of their prop guns. They are modelled on the Sterling L2A3 9mm SMG submachine gun, a military weapon from the 1950s with the magazine located on the left-hand side.
Okay.
Did you know the word Ewok is never said aloud in any of the Star Wars movies?
Yep, that I did know. There we go.
That's interesting.
Facts for you.
Got any knowledge to drop on us, Cal?
Well, here's a question actually. Throughout all the Star Wars films, how come, apart from the Solo movie, how come we've only seen Chewbacca and no other Wookiees? That's a question.
And we did. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. And
Except
we did.
from
In Attack of the Clones. So go to Kashyyyk.
Oh, well, okay. Apart from Revenge of the Sith, yeah. Well, yeah, then Revenge of the Sith. Sorry, yeah. But apart from Revenge of the Sith and the Solo movie, you don't see Chewie. Well, Chewie's race at all.
No.
Apart from, here's the thing now, they're bringing them back into the Rise of Skywalker. I don't know what part they're going to be playing, but there's been a few sightings of Wookiees in the next film.
That's mad. One of the other things that always got me as well is why does Obi-Wan not recognize R2? And you think how many times R2 saved Obi-Wan and Anakin on missions and bits and pieces like that. Why does he not recognize him in A New Hope? It's another thing that's always got me. Never quite understood that.
I think he does, but he was playing dumb, if that makes sense.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Because then C-3PO would recognize him as well. Doesn't recognize him.
True. But saying that as well, people are still thinking that C-3PO is with the Imperials. Because obviously Anakin made him.
Yeah.
And there's in some of the stories of Star Wars Legends, C-3PO has came across Darth Vader, and Darth Vader has clocked onto who C-3PO is.
Did not know that.
Yeah, because there's one point Vader actually takes his helmet off to show his face, not before he's older, where he's still youngish, to C-3PO, and C-3PO is like, "Oh, you're my master," and that's basically dropping to his knees and saying, "What's happened to you?"
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that so? What is that? One of the comics or one of the novels, or?
It's one of the. Is it one of the comics? It's either one of the comics or novels, yes, because the way C-3PO, if you read it, it sounds like he's crying as he's talking, but obviously since he's a droid, he can't cry.
I'm sorry.
But yeah.
While you're talking, Mika started snoring. So if you hear any weird noises, Mika's actually fast asleep and snoring.
But yeah.
Up.
Oh.
He's cuddled up with Dougie.
Oh, hello, Dougie. But yes, I think Darth Vader used C-3PO to his advantage and bugged him, like they done with the Millennium Falcon to find him on Yavin 4, that sort of bug. But he can listen into everything they're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Because it's going to be it'd be interesting, because obviously the TV shot we've seen of the new one with C-3PO.
Yes.
Want to know what's going on there? I mean, would it be something like Lando done? The L7?
Maybe. Or
the mind out and then planted it into the Falcon, which is why he loves that ship so much. It'd be interesting to see when he gets back on the Falcon on his own, if he has a moment with L7, because he loved that droid.
Mm.
No, he loved that droid.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Bow Chicka Bow Wow. Yeah. Or, like I said, if they touch on that, I will literally cheer at that scene, because C-3PO's clocked on and said, "Oh, hold on, the First Order or whatever are still listening in on C-3PO," and then that's why they either erase his mind or whatever is going to happen to him, because that would be quite sick.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. If that happens in the movie, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Anything else from anyone else? No. Right, Cal, we've hit the 2-hour mark, mate.
Oh damn! Yes, we have.
So that's the end of the time now. Although I could
well.
quite happily carry on for another
Well,
couple
yeah.
of hours. So
we may have to do another one in the new year when the new
Yeah.
film's out.
Yeah.
And wrap it all up and see how things have gone and how we expected things to go and what we didn't expect.
Yeah.
But obviously there'll be spoilers.
Yeah.
Just one more thing quickly. Who mentioned about the stormtroopers having numbers and that? I forgot, because it just came back to me now.
Me.
Oh right, okay, right. You know, all the clones and that, obviously they all had numbers, but clones throughout the Clone Wars, they started getting self-aware, if that made sense, and they started giving themselves names. Like Anakin's army was led by someone called Commander Rex. When you had Commander Cody, who you see in Revenge of the Sith, who had there's loads of them that have different names. And that, and then obviously when the Empire came out, Sidious didn't want any of the stormtroopers painting their armor green or putting any sort of like weird logos or whatever in, because obviously, like I said, they had to show their loyalty, nice clean suit, whatever. And then yeah, so basically, like you said, to feel brainwashed, and they were a thing, not a person, if that made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty much basic sort of like military conditioning.
Yes.
Isn't it? You know, they kind of strip you and rebuild you how they want you, and that way you're not prone to think about other things or other people, because all you're focusing on is the job at hand. And no, makes perfect sense. I mean, how did they actually get rid of all the clones? Do you know that one?
To sum it up quickly, their clones are still around, believe it or not, in the Empire. But they're officers. They're like at training camps. That none of them are in the war now, apart from New Hope. All those stormtroopers on Death Star were the 501st.
Right.
They were all clones.
Yes. So I wasn't too sure whether or not there might have like been a purge to like clear out all the clones, and then that way they can kind of like start afresh with the Empire. And
no, Sidious thought it'd be best to open up to everyone to join. So, you know, anyone, you know, short, tall, medium. Yeah. So
no, that was another thing. I just couldn't put my finger on what, why, who, how, when. But yeah, because I know there was one of the clones that tried to. He was actually a friend with Vader, wasn't he? He was one of the only sort of like humans that Vader let into his kind of real inner sanctum. I can't think of his name.
Commander Bly. That's his name.
Yeah. And didn't Vader, when Bly was killed, didn't Vader cry or something? I think it was some emotional moment.
He cried, and he actually did go on a rampage. I think he went to kill something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's our Fascination Street. That is a Star Wars special. Callum, what do you want to do? Do you want to hang around and we'll hang out and chat after the show, or have you got a dash?
I've got a few minutes to spare. What's the time now? Yeah, well, I've got till 10:30, so yeah, I've got a few minutes.
Okay, right. Well, hang back there then. Me and Sarah will sign off, and then we'll get back to you. All right, mate?
No, man.
Right, hang firm.
One more question.
Oh, hang on.
John's asked, then why does Leah say Luke is short for a stormtrooper? Is there a hindsight?
Yes.
They had to make?
Well, I can explain this. This is actually to deal with real history now. They based the stormtroopers on Hitler's idea. So basically, Hitler's dream soldier was blonde hair, blue eyes, all the same height. So, like with Sidious, he wanted all his troops to be the same height. I don't think about hair color or whatever, but yeah, he wanted them all to be the same height, and no aliens are allowed in the stormtrooper regiment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go, Mark.
Oh, John.
Sorry, that was John, and then Mark's put they use the clones as tea and biscuit dispensers.
Yeah, and gonk droids. Gonk droids. That's what I have.
Okay.
Right.
Maybe.
Okay. Let me finish, Callum. All right. You've had your 2 hours of fame.
Yeah, but Callum, just for the sake of it, please explain with noise why you are called Chewy.
Okay.
I can partly explain.
There we go.
Thank you.
And I can explain how the Chewy thing came about. Not only does he make the noise, he's also like very, very, very big. A lot of the time, his face is 3/4 fur and hair.
Yes.
He's loyal. He's lovely, and he's someone that you really don't want to upset because he will rip your arms off. So that's how he's ended up as my Chewy. So, and a lot of people have now started calling him Chewy at work, as well as Mika. He started off as my Chewy first. So he is the Chewbacca to my Han Solo, and yeah, he's my right hand guy. I couldn't think of anyone else that I'd rather be spending time with at work or stuff like that. He's my guy. I love my Callum to bits.
Thank you for joining us, Callum. You've been awesome.
Anytime. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Love you, man.
There you go.
Oh.
Oh,
okay. I'll do the shout outs tonight then.
You do.
Okay, right. So, thank you very much for joining the show this evening. I know we've kind of like bounced backwards, forwards, backwards, and we didn't kind of go through a lot of what we wanted to go through, which is really cool because then that cues out for a second show. Thank you so much for putting up with my coughing, spluttering.
Me to sleep.
Yep, my wheezing, having to disappear to use my vapor inhaler. Mika passing out, but we weren't going to cancel the show at all because it'd been a while since I've been on camera. I couldn't wait to do it and to catch up with everyone again, apart from Pat. So yeah, right. So I'm going to do some shout outs, usuals. Excuse me. Erik Stitt Art. Dave Partridge, even though you don't do Shadows of Your Mind anymore, you're still our guy. We love you loads. You always get a pass and you always get a shout out on our show. Inquire Within, Brett Larson. Handmade Crafts by Blue Druid, Stephen Shaz. I put a thing out the other day on my Facebook wall, and they've become new associates of the show. They're very dear friends, and they also make bespoke handmade jewelry and gifts. They do silver, they do jewelry for fibro awareness. They'll even do customized stuff for you, including crystals, other metalware. Just go and check them out. If you've got me on Facebook, go and check out their page. I've put a link out for them. I'll probably put another one out, and there will be a link in the description of the show afterwards as well. Stephen Shaz, truly, truly, truly lovely people. Check their stuff out. Awesome. Big shout out to Natasha Nix. Love you, my girl. Big shout out to Jiggy and Smoke King from Paranormal Hood. You boys, love you dearly as well. And thank you so much for the shout out you gave us this weekend. And we are still looking for other ashtrays. We're not done yet. We ain't done. We've got more stuff coming towards you. So hang on in there, buddy. And who else? Who else? Someone we've missed.
CW.
C-dubs. Someone else we've missed.
Yeah.
Come on.
Ah!
Use the force.
I'm not gonna think of it.
This is really, really bad. Because we've done it on the hop this evening, we've got to normally have a bit of paper, but where we've cleared up, guess what? We can't find what we're looking for.
Ray Davis.
Ray Davis, thank you so much. Ray Davis and Dennis Nappy.
And Zen.
Yep. Zen from Unspirituality. Philip Mantle, just because Philip Mantle is like, he is ufology royalty in the UK and we love him dearly. And also big shout out to Kat Hobson as well. Love you very, very much. Oh,
sending lots of love to you.
Yeah, Sue and Otter, especially Otter at the moment. So much love coming from all of us, mate. Love you very, very much. And
yeah, and Kelly.
Only a message away. We've got Kelly as well. Sorry, CW and Kelly. See what I mean? We're all over the place. So anyway, anything from you?
No, that's it. But there is no show next week. We are watching Star Wars. So this is our last show before Christmas. So we'd all from Fascination Street love to wish you all a very happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and
happy Yuletide for the pagans.
Yeah, happy Yuletide, and we don't know whether we'll see you between Christmas and New Year.
We'll make a point. We'll do something. We don't normally do something, but we'll do something different this year. We will. There's obviously trying to get everything sorted to do like a Christmas special times, and it's just going to be too much hard work, and it's just been a rough time over the last few weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sarah's health hasn't been great. There was
2 hospital visits.
Operation on the way, but obviously this isn't the type of stuff that we publicize, so it's been hard. But hope you can understand. But we will come the new year, and that once we get everything relatively back to normal, we'll have something out over Christmas period. We'll have something else out towards New Year, even if it's a short 10, 15, 20-minute Facebook Live or something. We'll have something out. But yeah, thank you so much for sticking with us, and thank you so much for everyone that sort of like messaged me and offered support and bits and pieces, though I've been absent for the last couple of weeks. It's meant a lot, and I'm hoping this new project that I can get up and running soon. So if you're a motorsports fan, check out On the Line. There'll be a YouTube stream coming early New Year. On that, I'll be covering all different motorsports from all around the world. There'll be a short news feed every week. I also have a friend of mine, Cami. She's going to be joining me because she's very, very, very into the esports side of things. She's also a sim racer herself. In fact, she's just got first on a Ford Esport Championship. So big shout out to you for that one, Cami. Well done, lovely. So yeah, so things are moving along quite nicely. I still haven't managed to get. I've managed to get a couple of interviews lined up with people that are quite influential within the motorsports scene. So we're getting there. So anyway, I'd just like to say a big thank you so much to everyone for all the love, support, and everything you always give us. And we love you very much. Have a happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy Yuletide. Love you long time.
And we'll see you again very soon.
See you later, everyone.
Take care.
Bye. Bye. See you later, Callum. Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.